So some of you may have seen the stand-up mortality test. It's been run a couple times, but ultimately it's how many limbs you need to use to get up from the floor is an indicator of essentially how long you're going to live. Obviously, there's nothing intrinsic about your flexibility or balance that is going to dictate how long you are going to stay alive before you kick the bucket. What it is an indirect indicator of all of the different facets of fitness that we use on a day-to-day basis that keep you from getting in trouble. If I lack flexibility, I'm more likely to injure a joint. If I lack balance, I'm more likely to fall over and break a bone or die. If I lack strength, then I'm more likely to hurt myself, pull a muscle, or be unable to catch my balance and then fall over and probably die. So these mortality tests are a quick snapshot of your overall level of fitness. So if you are lacking in one component of fitness, that means you have a weakness that makes you more susceptible. So when you do your programming, you want to make sure that you are staying well-rounded. Even if you are a high-end athlete and you are being more sports specific, you still need to take note of the certain facets of fitness that you might be lacking in, because you still have to go outside into the real world like every other human being does and play by the same rules of life. So when you do the mortality test, it's essentially you start seated on the floor. From there, the number of limbs that you need to use to stand up is an indicator of how long essentially you're going to live. If you only need 2 limbs, as in both of your legs, and from butt on the floor to 2 feet to stand up, then that is essentially the best score that you can get. We can do a little bit better than that. But for this particular test, 2 limbs was the perfect score, as it were. The 3 limb is if you cannot get up from your 2-legged stance and you need a little help, so you put one hand on the floor to then shove off. Now that is an additional limb, and so you've kind of lowered the score a little bit. If you need 4 limbs, and then if you need to use all points, so if you cannot use your arms and legs to get up from the floor and you have to flip over into quadruped, so now you have your feet, your knees, and your hands on the floor in order to be able to stand up, things are starting to get pretty dicey. So that is a very quick test for you to be able to do essentially anywhere to see what you need to be working on with your fitness: core, upper body strength, lower body strength, flexibility, balance, you name it. So try the mortality test and see how you do.